Don't forget to subscribe!
It's me, Rika Furude. Welcome back to our holiday special reviews. In this episode, we'll be reviewing Higurashi Mei's Christmas event from 2021, the 5th year of Innocence. Let's get this thing started.
Spoiler alert!
Our story begins in December. I was boarding a train and I was thinking on watching TV train specials with Satoko at dinner time in the past. So I sat down and worriedly looked at the photo of Satoko that I brought with me, and I was wondering why I did what I had to do. And the scene jumps back to a few hours before I boarded the train. One of my classmates tells me that the student council president wants to see me in the courtyard. So I pondered the strangeness of a president sending a messenger for me rather than talking to me directly. But I choose to go. So the classmate tells me to be careful, as the president is disliked by teachers, so most of the students tended to avoid her. So I said I'll just listen to what I need and what she needs, and then I'll just come right back. So I go to the courtyard where the president is sitting on the bench. I put on a fake smile and I talk to her. And I could never tell when the president is being genuine or sarcastic. And so she can't smile back at her. I don't even remember her real name, but I felt like that she was always my natural enemy. So the president just calls back to the day we first met, and she asked me to become a right-hand man if she won the student council election. I told her that I would never have joined, no matter how the president approached me, since I would lose time spent with Satoko. And the president eventually shrugged, and I note on her annoyance how the president seems to treat everything like a play. The president then goes on about how satisfying it is to see her opponents lamenting in defeat, and seems to read my mind in wondering how someone like me had got to become president. So I was worried about meeting the president because of my reputation. I cut classes. Well, she cuts classes, talks down to everyone, and causes trouble. And the president says it's no problem to earn so many votes in a small environment, and praised me for being unwavering when she prepares herself. I figure the president is asking me to join the council once again. So I decline, and the president brings up Satoko and asks me to listen some more. I say Satoko's roommate told her she'd be skipping school since she caught a cold. I was planning to bring her snacks after lunch, and the president asked me if there was any trouble between us. And she was drawing a reaction for me, and I think there was indeed a time when I was unable to cheer up Satoko when she was suffering the most, and a rift could have opened between us. But that was just a future me had imagined. At the start, Satoko didn't fit in with St. Lucia, but she did her best to adapt and stay with me. So I remember this is about grades, and I assert that Satoko has been improving since she no longer has to go to remedial classes. So the president tells me to calm down and suddenly hands me a can of coffee. I'm confused since I've never seen canned coffee on school grounds, but I take it anyway. And the president finally explains that Satoko escaped from school. I was so shocked. I can't even understand why she would do that. We had a good friendship and we read magazines together and always talked about movies. So there's no reason for Satoko to suddenly run away. As proof, the president says the supplier saw someone like Satoko at the station. No one else had seen her since her roommate was in remedial classes. And the president says that if Satoko's escape comes to light, She may get sent to the remedial classes once again, sent to the disciplinary chamber, or even forced into voluntarily withdrawal. All they have to do is get Satoko back before the nightly roll call, and everything will be fine. And she assures me that any eyewitnesses are keeping quiet, and that she told the supplier that Satoko put in a report. So the president gave me a train ticket in math, as it's highly likely that Satoko took a bullet train to Tokyo. The president also tells me about a secret path in the St. Lucia Rear Guardian that will let her escape school. Only the president knows about this path, so I ask why she's helping me. But the president dodges the question and says time is running out. She plans to ask me about joining the student council some other time, so I take the item and I eventually leave. On the Tokyo train, I wonder what I will do once I even got on there. I had no idea where in Tokyo Satoko went or why, and I thought back to earlier conversations. Early today, we received a fashion magazine from Shion, and so we both secretly read it together in the library, and we talked about fashion and movies, but I couldn't remember anything else. I pull out a photo of me and Satoko, and I have flashbacks, and then Mion suddenly appeared, surprised to be riding the same train as me. Mion explains that she's going to Tokyo for some errands, and she's on break since college exams are over. And she asked me why I'm out, and she could tell I was having trouble. And she even asked me to explain it. I was worried that if Mion learned Satoko escaped, she will tell Shion. When Satoko planned to go to St. Lucia, Shion was incredibly against it and told Satoko she could leave and come back to Hinamizawa at any time. If Shion found out, she'd take Satoko back under her protection. So Mion saw the picture I had and she took a look at it. It was a picture of me and Satoko during the winter, our last one before we left Hinamizawa. Mion asked if Satoko pulled that out again, and I asked what she was meaning. Mion clarifies it's the fox scarf, the Christmas present that I traded to her. And she pointed to the picture. Satoko was wearing it in there. And I finally realized where Satoko was going. And because of it, I had a following thread of a memory. The club is having a private Christmas party at Angel Mart as thanks for helping during the Angel Mart Christmas Fair. As we ate and talked among themselves, our friend Kazuho Kimiyoshi asked us why the majority of waitresses in Okinomiya got around by that store in Gogura. Mion explained that a Japanese dessert set in the Gogura Angel Mart was so popular that it sold out in a day. The Okinomiya location had to send in some workers there due to the extremely high demand. After we had our appetite, Mion announced that she brought presents for everyone. Her uncle Yoshiro, the Angel Mart manager, was out in Tokyo and got gifts for us as thanks. Mion says everything came already wrapped. And so we all had no idea what was inside them. So we all opened our presents. Mao got a candle, Kazuho got a purse, Miyuki got socks, Rena got a music box, Mion got a handkerchief, Shion got perfume, and Hanyu got a polo conpeito. Satoko opened her gift and froze, and she quickly hides it before asking me to open mine. So I get a scarf shaped like a foxtail. Me and Kazuho asked Satoko about her gift, and she reveals that she got gloves. I was so sad, and I explained to Satoko that she already bought gloves earlier, and the new ones are too big. Well, Satoko tried to act happy, and I offered to swap gifts. Satoko didn't want to since I looked so happy with the scarf, but I insisted. Kazuho says the gifts were already randomly wrapped, and so fate just played a prank on us. Maybe Satoko was supposed to get the scarf all along. And Satoko agreed, and I put the scarf on her as Satoko slides the gloves onto my hands. So Kazuho admires this moment and is suddenly flying as Rena enters cute mode. However, in the present, Satoko left a department store and she comments on the huge crowd. She prepares to head back to the dorms when me and Mion run up to her. Satoko is surprised to see us there, and I explain I've heard from the president about Satoko's escape. And I was looking into her bag, and I declared it was a scarf. So Mion says that when she and Satoko called the store long ago, they were told that it was a Christmas exclusive scarf. When I arrived at Tokyo Station, I called the store and was told it would be resold starting that day. So I rushed to the store to find Satoko. I was thankful for meeting up with Satoko and stopping themselves from going different paths. So Satoko apologized and she took the fashion magazine to her room and saw the scarf was being resold and thought to leave the school without even telling anyone. I wondered why Satoko would even buy a replacement scarf. And Satoko reveals the scarf is the same one I gave her 4 years ago. And she figured that I must have wanted one myself. Satoko wanted to match with me someday. So I give her a hug and I tell her to be more careful, as I didn't know what would happen if Satoko got into an accident. Satoko apologizes once more and embraces me back, just like a best friend would always do. So Mion pointed at the time, and me and Satoko realized that the roll call was coming up. Mion says that she's going to prepare a car next to St. Lucia, and we should be able to make it in time after we leave the station. We thank Mion for her help, and we worry about the suddenness of it, but Mion says she suddenly asked him to help Angel more years ago, so it's all fine. So Satoko mentions she'll cause trouble with her senior for this, and I ask what she means. Satoko says she's talking about the student council president and wonders why I did not even understand that. Later on a certain day in December, we helped decorate for the student council Christmas party while wearing revealing Santa outfits as payback for the president helping us. And then president shows up herself. And I asked why she kept quiet about helping Satoko study and being acquainted with her. So Satoko calms me down and says the teachers would be watching over her. Right? If even more if they knew that she was familiar with the president. So the student council president says she intends to deepen her friendship with me. So I also ask about the president's casual manner as speech right now. And she says that this is actually her natural speech pattern. People say the president sounds condensing when she talks to them, and she really wants to fix that. So I asked why the president didn't stop Satoko from leaving St. Lucia if she knew about it all along. But the president ignores me and responds that I still left the academy without actual permission. And so the Santa outfits are a way to repay her for all the expenses she took. And the president also says that she fixed the hole in the fence herself, since other people found out about it. I realized that the president herself made the hole in the first place. The president doesn't confirm it, but she says the hole is being fixed for the best, and does admit to using Satoko's punishment game stories as an inspiration for the outfits. I worried about how our private Christmas party is being made public. The student council president says some teachers already know, and she even lectured me about how information is important. With enough intel about your opponents, you can achieve anything you want, and the president even enjoys preparing for mutual destruction and watching us flinch. The president alludes to creating a weakness in me by tempting me to leave the academy without permission, and Satoko tells her to stop acting like the bad guy. She knows the president isn't really bad as people say, but she needs to stop saying misinterpretable things. So, the student council president responds that Satoko should have talked with her about making a safer escape plan. St. Lucia will approve any request to leave for so long as they believe it's for entrance exam studies. So Satoko didn't like the idea since she had to get a good grade on her finals. Satoko goes to untangle some tinsel decorations. Right before I offered to help, the president grabbed my attention and asked if I feel lonely and how I feel about having my best friend stolen. Drinking some canned coffee, as she says it. So the president claims that Satoko's grades improved due to her own efforts, and that the president just encouraged her by giving her feedback and confidence. By giving Satoko a sense of accomplishment after completing small tasks, she was able to improve. St. Lucia has a bad system, one where students don't feel like their efforts amount to anything since they don't understand anything. But in the end, the president gave Satoko the confidence she needed to worry about my Christmas present. I begin to agree with what she's saying, thinking that I was only there for Satoko, but I never actually did anything to help her. However, the president said me being by Satoko's side actually did help her, in fact. And we also talked about how miraculous it was for the president to get elected. And she wanted to change the school, and somehow she got a high number of votes. Even I voted for her. And I also wanted to see change. However, the president is graduating in a year, so all of her effort may reset to the beginning when she leaves. The president concludes by hoping that someone in the future will remember what she did and continue her task, and that God may be the one to see it. This causes me to think about Hanya. The president seems to guess what I'm thinking, and she says that she has enough topics to put her letter in this week, and I'm confused as to who she was sending it to. Satoko finished unwrapping the tinsel and announces her success, interrupting me and the president's conversation. The president asks her to reconsider joining the student council, but Satoko refuses. The president says she wants both me and Satoko to join the council, thinking it would be livelier. Satoko says she'll think about it then. The president becomes happy since this is the first time she got a positive response. It makes a strange, wee laugh, confusing me. The president still wants me and Satoko to attend the student council party, and asks us to finish all the decorations soon. I actually see that I still can't come to like the president, and I think of her as being like Shion with her persuasive skills. Satoko sighs and says she was really surprised when me and Mion showed up earlier. Satoko thinks that both of us riding the exact same train can be considered a miracle, and I kind of agreed with that. This ultimately wouldn't have happened without Shion sending that magazine and encouraging Satoko to get the scarf. So I asked Satoko if we should talk to the president for help and go out together so we can enjoy our matching scarves. Satoko gladly accepts, thus ending our story. And also, no trivia has been used. Sorry!
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit. No!
Overall, I think that this was actually kind of a fantastic event. And in all honesty, I really hope that Christmas brings out a lot of joy and innocence and happiness for everyone. So we give this story from Higurashi no Naku Higurashi Mei a perfect 10 out of 10. Next time...
It's like Christmas morning.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. What do you think? If you appreciated it, please be sure to smash that like button, and be sure to follow my social media platforms in the description below, and the Team Lifelight's fandom channels. Please be sure to leave a comment below, and give us your open-minded thoughts. We here at Team Lifelight's fandubs do not condone harassment, violence, or trolls allowed, or otherwise, Red Hoek from Comedy Central's The Ren and Stimpy Show will haunt you down to the ends of the Shadow Realm. So please be sure to subscribe to our channels and click the notification bell. You'll never miss a video the second it goes live on YouTube and Google. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Happy holidays, and have a happy new year, and best wishes for all!